Okay, it's hashtag indict McCain for ISIS. I'm sorry, arrest McCain for ISIS. Make it clear. I'd get down to earth. Arrest McCain for ISIS. So we've got O'Baggy. That leads to Kagan's. That leads to Keane. He's directly implicated. Petraeus and Keane were called in by Kerry and Samantha to find a way to wage war in Syria, and now they found it. The training has been voted for, and the airstrikes is what various people are pressing for, and we've got to stop it. I urge you to mobilize with us on this. This will be the principal issue of the November elections. This is it. And remember, they were able to grind down Dempsey and to some extent Hagel. Dempsey flipped this week. And Kerry also points to another character they brought in, General Allen. Remember him? Now remember, because this all goes back to the attempted putsch by Petraeus under the color of the November 2012 election. Benghazi was the centerpiece of it. And Petraeus was then forced out under the color of a sex scandal with Broadwell, but this was a putsch, and forced out with him, also under the cover of a quasi-sex scandal, was General Allen, who was hobnobbing with Jill Kelly, the rival of Broadwell, two Matahari operatives, it looks like. So Allen, though, was supposed to take over as NATO commander. He was forced out. He said his wife was sick, but he was forced out. And Allen is now back as the principal advisor to Kerry. If you listen to those hearings, Kerry kept saying, my guide, my man, my guru is General Allen. So another warmonger has been brought in. Look at this pattern. Okay, so Washington Post claims that they know who McCain met with, 4 Pinocchios for Rand. Jake Tapper on CNN, defend McCain against false charges from Rand Paul. Well, again, sorry, no endorsement of Rand Paul, but the charges are true. CBS claims that the charges against McCain have already been debunked. Yeah, they've been debunked, as for Tapper, by the Free Syrian Army itself. Tapper comes on and says, yeah, we called the Free Syrian Army, and we said to them, are there any Al-Qaeda or ISIS terrorists in that picture? And Free Syrian Army told us, not a one. Those are our wonderful heroes of democracy from the Northern Storm Brigade. Okay, said Jake. Okay, said CBS. So let's get serious. McCain raves to Kerry, I know too many of them, John. I'm in contact with them all the time. I know them intimately. Yikes. Better to go with Senator Manchin, who says it is insanity to fund the rebels. Insanity. Now, he said he would shut down the government. I guess he was surrounded and crushed, or he otherwise gave up. I would also cite you Colonel Wilkerson, the former aide to Colin Powell, who pointed out that the policy of arming the Syrian rebels is insanity writ large. This stuff is everywhere. We need a powerful force to intervene with clarity to punch through, arrest McCain for ISIS. McCain asks Hannity, has Rand Paul ever been to Syria? Has he ever met with ISIS? Now remember, Voltaire Network, Maison, that's the gold standard. That has the best sources in the region. The Daily Beast, Rand Paul eats up the hoax that McCain met ISIS. Sorry, Tina. Sorry, Daily Beast. He did meet ISIS. And they even have an interview with Rand. Salon Magazine, Amateur Hour by Rand. Sorry, the charges are true. Hot Air says it's a stem winder. The Daily Caller says it's a gaffe by Rand. The New York Times, this is a good one. Try as he may. Let's give you the quote here. Try as he may, John McCain can't shake falsehoods about ties to ISIS Rick Gladstone, September 11th. Sorry, Rick, these charges are borne out, and you have no proof. All you say is, we're going to take the word of the Free Syrian Army. And by the way, where are they? The Free Syrian Army now has 3 competing leaders. Half of them have defected to the crazies, to ISIS. This Idris was trotted out by the CIA as the golden boy of 2013, or even 2012. Where is Idris? Produce Idris. Let's hear from him. He was at that meeting. Idris is the one person widely known and I think acknowledged to have been at that meeting with McCain. Indict Idris. We need Idris as a material witness. He's supposedly in Doha. His deputy is supposedly in Sweden. Extradite them. We can even, bring them in by any means, right? You can extort them, import them, whatever it is. We want the truth. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, usually the Bible of the supporters of terrorism, they say there is a truce by certain groups of rebels with ISIS. So they're not fighting ISIS, they're only fighting Assad, and that helps ISIS through the back door. Robert Ford was supposed to be there at the Senate Foreign Relations Committee this week. After Kerry, they heard from Ford, right? We know him, the death squad expert who trained under the death squad king Negroponte. Even Robert Ford says that you can't underestimate the deal that Al-Qaeda is present there in the form of Nusra. Nusra, Al-Qaeda, the same thing, and they're not fighting ISIS. Let's get rid of these idiotic legends. So this is the picture. I urge you, use the social media that are now available. Get this out there. You can see this amazing lineup of the establishment media. Let me also point out there are holes in their story. Right? Elliot Engel of NBC News points out that the Free Syrian Army does not exist. Loretta Sanchez, and you can see all kinds of material on this on my Twitter account, that is to say Webster G. Tarpley on Twitter. What you will see there is Loretta Sanchez, Congresswoman from California, Democrat, saying that her friends in her district, her Syrian constituents, have told her that there is no such thing as a moderate Syrian terrorist or a moderate Syrian rebel. So that's the rundown on this. It's everywhere. The genie is out of the bottle. It cannot be contained. All you need to do is push this, because if you don't, what you're going to get is the McConnell program, and we've seen some of that. McConnell promised David Koch in that other tape, which we can never forget about, that if the Republicans can take over the Senate, which now becomes, I think, iffy because of sociological tendencies as well as this question that we're bringing up now, that there will be riders, there will be budget reconciliation, there will be no increase in the minimum wage, or did he say there'll be no minimum wage? I'm not sure. And there'll be no help for students crushed by student loan debt. Therefore, the policy of giving weapons, $500 million to the vetted moderate opposition, there's a fool's errand. And this, what we've just identified, is the war party in its current form. McCain, Lindsey Graham up front. Then we get this connection, Obagi, the Kagans, Institute for the Study of War, General Keane, Petraeus, General Allen, and that's the faction, Samantha, Rice, all these people. And Obama surrounded. If Dempsey has now collapsed, if Dempsey has diminished his resistance to lunatic war adventures, then that means that general war getting closer and closer. So the support, material support for terrorism is is a crime according to existing law. And we also have to just the attempt to use this to go on to bigger things, right? ISIS, the words were told about them. It's a mighty force, one of the anchor ladies said this week. Down Dempsey, and to some extent Hagel. Dempsey flipped this week. And Kerry also points to another character they brought in, General Allen. Remember him? Now remember, because this all goes back to the attempted putsch by Petraeus under the color of the November 2012 election. Benghazi was the centerpiece of it. And Petraeus was then forced out under the color of a sex scandal with Broadwell, but this was a putsch, and forced out with him, also under the cover of a quasi-sex scandal, was General Allen, who was hobnob, is what various people are pressing for, and we've got to stop it. I urge you to mobilize with us on this. This will be the principal issue of the November elections. This is it. And remember, they were able to grind. Okay, it's hashtag indict McCain for ISIS. I'm sorry, arrest McCain for ISIS. Make it clear. I'd get down to earth. Arrest McCain for ISIS. So we've got O'Baggy. That leads to Kagan's. That leads to Keane. He's directly implicated. Petraeus and Keane were called in by Kerry and Samantha to find a way to wage war in Syria, and now they found it. The training has been voted for, and the airstrikes